Hello, everybody. I'm back again with the little talk on autistic spectrum disorder, which I'm continuing. It is the fifth session. So most of the part I covered about the diagnosis, means diagnostic criteria, socio-communication difficulties, some repetitive restrictive behavior, and that is causing the problem and some problem or issues in day-to-day life. And in the last session, it started with how to diagnose, and after that, post-diagnostic support, how to get the support from child, for your child, from the school, from the social care, at home, and from sibling. All these things I discuss. Of course, you have to looking after yourself. It will take time to learn how to help your child and family cope with their day-to-day life. You have to write to feel annoyed or frustrated. It is hard to remain positive when things don't have uh, don't go as per planned. That is always the two things in it. And it is natural to feel upset. Try to get some time of your own to relax, even if it is just a walk with the dog or do some washing up, or try not to feel guilty about doing this. Everyone deserves some time out to recharge their batteries. You can also ask for assessment of your needs as a carer, so that you can access support such as short break. It may help to talk about your experience with people who have been in the similar situation. So there are parent to parent surveys. So you can take it through autism.org.uk. Of course, the most important part also in this aspect, telling your child about their diagnosis. So it is also very important. So there are many questions that you may have. When should I tell my child? Uh, that is your decision. Some parents tell this diagnosis when they are quite young, like in primary school age, so that their son or daughter becomes aware of their difference and starts to ask questions. Other parents wait until their child is slightly older, as they feel they will understand the diagnosis better. Or you can ask your child's school or specialist psychologist to support you about your decision and approach. So it is another thing is may ask you that how should you tell your child? There is no one is right and wrong about it. However, some point you have to be considering. Um, who is the best person in the family to help to bring up this subject? If the child is very comfortable with grandparents, aunt, it may be a good idea that you should include them, in this discussion. um, and choose a moment when you both calm mood and familiar space where both you are feeling comfortable. Autistic children can find it difficult to process the new information, especially if they are feeling anxious, stressed, or are in an unfamiliar environment. So try to make sure that you won't be interrupted, and your child may need time to think about it and ask a question if they want to ask. One of the ways some parents start conversations about autism is to talk first about difference. For example, you could write a list of family members' strengths and weakness, then talk about what your child is good and what he or she find difficult. You could point out that there is a name to this particular pattern of strength and weakness. Your child may have met other autistic people, and you could explain that although autistic people have some things in common, they are all different. Now, how might your child react? Your child may be pleased that they now have a better understanding of themselves. Some children will become concerned that there is something seriously wrong with them and that will affect their health. You may need to emphasize that autism is not a disease and no one can die of it. Autism is a lifelong condition, but with right support, they can thrive. It may be that uh, your child needs some additional support for that. That, for example, your child might have a teaching assistant at school who will help them the task they find it difficult. And you can also point out that your child is good at something at school which other child needs help. Be there if your child wants to talk and ask questions. Some children may not want to ask questions face to face. Having a question box, a diary, email system can be easier for some children to ask personal question. It also gives them more time to process your answer and think about the question. Your child may like to, meet with other autistic children. Some children find it helpful to meet other autistic children and to learn that they are not alone. And of course, there are autism service directory, list in social group, after school club, support group all around UK. And how should you tell other children? If you have other children, you may want to talk to them separately about your child's diagnosis. You will probably explain things differently depending upon the age. And if your child wants to tell their friends at school, so there is a lesson guide in Autism.org UK, which teacher can use with their class to help pupil to understand autism. You can also download the Autism Awareness Pack for teacher. And you can also talk to teacher about the circle of friend approach to supporting the inclusion of children on the autism spectrum in mainstream schools. So I think that's all about today. And we will continue to do such small talks and different topics. And I think it would be helpful for you. Have a lovely day. Thank you.